Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a new topic. The topic is functions. Students, in class 11th, you have written a lot of programs using Python. What we will do is, today we will use one such program of class 11th and take it as a source to understand functions. We will try to find out why functions are important and what benefits does it provide in the world of programming. So let us start and go to the Python shell. So we are in the Python shell and we want to write a very simple program of class 11th. What we will do is, we will take two numbers from the user and display the sum, the difference, the product and the quotient of these two numbers. So let us see. We start here. We have taken a variable a and we are writing a code to take a value in that variable a from the user. Then I have taken a code to take a value in the variable b from the user, and we'll do nothing. We'll simply say that the sum is a plus b. Say the difference is a minus b. The product is a into b, and the quotient is a by b. Suppose we also want to greet our viewers good morning. Print good morning. We write here. And at last, a good gesture would be to print a thank you. So we print thank you. So this is a small code which we have written, and using this code, what we'll try to do is, we'll try to learn functions in Python. Why functions are important. But first let us interpret and run this code. So we try to run it. So we give a name fun1 because we are writing a function. I can give any name, but I am giving this name. See, one syntax error it is showing. Yes, a comma is missing. Let us put the comma and then proceed. So it prints good morning. So good morning has been printed. Now it asks for two numbers. I give the first number and then I give the second number. You can well see the program flow, that is the order in which the program is being executed. The first line was executed first, then the second line, then third line, and it proceeds one by one. That is, From top to bottom, each and every line is being executed. So let us see. It gives all the given things. It gives the sum. Sum is 45. The difference is 35. The product is 200 and the quotient is 8. And it also prints thank you. That means our program has done its work. Now suppose your younger brother is sitting beside you and he is also interested to learn Python. Now he asks few questions to you. Let us see what question he asks. The first question he says is that he wants to print only the product and the sum now. He says that he would do the work of difference and quotient any other day. But he wants this program to be in his laptop now only. So what did your brother say? Your brother wants this program now from you, well completed. And he is not interested to run everything from the program now. He wants to run only 2 things. And the rest 2 things he wants to do afterwards. Is this possible with this code? I think it is not, because as we saw, when this code is going to run, it has to do all its work. Now suppose he has some other wishes also. He wants to print thank you, but he doesn't want to print good morning on the screen. So his wish list is increasing. What is the 2 wishes he has already said? The first wish was that he wants to execute the product and sum now, and he doesn't want to execute the difference and quotient now. And the second wish is that he doesn't want to print good morning, he wants to print thank you only. So how will we do it? Is it possible? Maybe he also gives the order. He says that I will do the product first and then the sum. With this code, is it possible? You will say, yes, it is possible if I interchange the statements written. That is, the place where the sum is written, we will write at that place the product is, and vice versa. But your brother is not convinced. And the other thing is, how will you leave the difference and quotient while it is in the code? Is it possible? It is not till the whole given code is working as a unit. We don't have that much control over this given program. But there is a way. And that way is using functions. Let us see how functions saves us today. How I satisfy my younger brother. So what we will do is, we will try to break this program code into small units and give a name to each unit. Now we'll see how we give names to unit. What we'll do is, we'll write a name to a given unit. Suppose I write greet. Now greet is a name given to this statement, print good morning. and we say greet is a function. Who has created this function? We have created. This function was not in Python earlier. We have just now created this function, and it has only one line today, and the line is print good morning. Now see what we do. We can even break the other codes in the similar fashion. Let us say I give the name addition to the sum part. So from today, and see the indentation how I am writing. Print is within addition due to indentation. See. But print the difference is not within addition because it has a different indentation. All the codes within the addition function should have the same indentation. What we are doing is I am trying to satisfy what my younger brother said, and thanks to the topic Python function today, which has helped us. I would write subtraction and keep one code there, the difference is. Similarly, I will write, say, product as a function and put the product part there. Then I would write another function, say division, maybe I write. The name should be logical. The work which is being done should be there so that it can be easily understood by other programmers also when they see it. And then I write a code, say bye. So a code bye for doing the work of printing thank you. Now what we have done is we have now divided each of our lines into different subunits. Now our program is not a single unit program. Our program has many subunits. One subunit is greet, the other subunit is addition. Similarly, subtraction is a subunit, product is another subunit, division and by are other subunits. Each of these subunits can work exclusively. Now my program has the power that I can take work from each of these subunits, named subunits, whenever I would need them. For example, as my brother said, that he only wants to print the product and addition, and then also what he said, in the order of first product and then addition. So what we'll do, we will go and call product. That is, if you write this much only, nothing would be done. Let us run first and see. Only two numbers would be taken and nothing would be done. Let us see. I take the first number, I take the second number. Nothing has been done. Why? Because I have written the functions. I have created subunits, but I have never said that a particular subunit should come and do the work for me. It is similar to that in my home, I have bought a TV. I have bought a refrigerator, but I have not switched on it. The refrigerator, the television is there at my home, but I have not switched it on. So how it would work? So there should be something to switch on the functions. This named subunit. Henceforth, these named subunits would be termed as functions. I will term them as functions. So how do I switch on them? How do I call them? Say I want to call the product. So I'll write nothing but this statement, product. As I write this statement, now the Python interpreter understands that I am interested in executing the product function. And what is written in the product function? As you can well see, it contains a statement: the product is A into B. And what is A into B? The values that we had in A and B, that would be multiplied and shown. So let us go and run it. So we run. Again take two numbers and see, only the product part has worked for me. The other parts have not worked. Now how shall I call the other parts? So let us go and see. My younger brother said he wants the product first and then the addition. He also said he wants the thank you, but he doesn't want the good morning. So for him today, this code works as follows. Two numbers, say I have taken, and see, the product is shown first, the sum is shown then, and thank you is printed, but good morning has not been printed. So students, isn't it something miraculous? Hasn't the world changed for us today? Since our start of Python, all were programs that worked sequentially. That means the code which you wrote worked one by one from the top. But now, this given program has something different for us. Here you have freedom. You have flexibility. You can run a part of the code and leave the other parts. You can also change the order in which the parts are being run. See, the addition was written above product, but product run before addition. And it is you to decide when you want to run this given code. Students, one more benefit that this code gives us is that I can reuse a given code. For example, I want to run, say, division twice, product thrice, and addition once. So what we'll do? We will write nothing. We'll write in this way: division thrice. So division. You can take a loop also, no problem. You are right. Then division. And you would be saying, sir, what is the problem? Even in the earlier code, the division could have been, that is the code of 11, their division would have been put in a for loop or while loop, and I could have done it 3 times. But the problem is, if you are said to run division once, then a product, then division again twice, can it be done with that code? It becomes harder because things are not being done. The division part is not being done at one go. One division first, then a product, then 2 divisions. So you can well see functions have given us a lot of flexibility. Whenever you want, you can run a given part of the function that is part of the program. You can even run it more than once. So once you have written it and you are using it more than once. So these are few benefits. You wrote division once and you are using it thrice. You wrote product once, you are using it twice. So this is the benefit. Write once, use many times. And this is one of the most important benefit that has been given by functions. So I think you have understood. You will understand the importance of reusability, when I'm talking of that division can be used thrice, if you speculate a situation that this division function doesn't have one line of code, let us think of the division to have 1000 lines within it. Then, if you didn't have the facility of functions, you had to recode, that is, write the code again 2 times more for division if you had to run the division function thrice, that is, you had to do the division work thrice. So that means you are saved of writing the code again. You can reuse the code, and that many lines of code would not be required to be again typed by you. So what are the benefits you are seeing of function? The first benefit is that it gives control over the program. You can control the program in a better way now. You can take hold of a part of a program and execute it. Moreover, you can execute in any order you want. That is first division, then product you see here, then 2 divisions, then product, then addition. Why to leave good morning? Let us take a good morning in between. Say, let us take a good morning here. So what we'll write here? Greet. So we have good morning also to be printed, and we will print it. So whatever you want from the whole program, that particular part you can solve. You can do. So this is the benefit of functions. So students, have you understood the benefit? I again iterate. The first benefit is that it divides the program into small subunits, and thus each subunit can be caught hold of and executed as and when we want. Each given subunits are mutually exclusive to the other subunit. That means addition has its own given namespace. It has its own area to work with. Subtraction has its own area. Let us understand it, how it has its own area. Suppose I take a variable c here and write 30, and suppose I print this 30 here. It would work for us. But if I want and write c here, then it is going to give error, because 30 has been created in addition's home. That is its namespace. That is its area. Addition's area has c. Subtraction doesn't know about c. So when I would be writing this code and I will be telling subtraction to work with this code, subtraction is going to give us error. So that is what I meant. I will not execute it. You can execute it yourselves, but I was only showing you what actually can happen when something which is in, say, addition's namespace is being tried to run from subtraction's namespace. So each has their own boundary. Every function here has its own boundary, and it works within its boundary. So you can well see that functions give a lot of benefit to us. So let us now execute this code and understand. See, first number 45, say second number 5. So what if name division is not defined? What is name division? What we have done? See what we have done. See, division has a capital D. And what D we have used? We have used a small d. So let us try and solve it out, the problems. Now product is also having a capital P. C. So let us take a capital P for product. So what do we see? The names of the functions, as were the case with other identifiers, the names of the functions are case sensitive. Name should not start with a digit. So these are the given norms when we write identifier, declare identifier. So name of a function is also a identifier. Let us now run it. So first number, second number, and see it gives the result, and it gives the product after the difference part, that is the quotient part. Then it gives two quotients again, then product again, then sum, and then thank you. So you have changed the whole order. Your younger brother is very happy with you. You have done it. What did you do today? You have created a function. Now let us see function with a microscopic view. Let us today take, say, the addition function. How do we define a function? We define a function by the keyword def. Then we give the name of the function. This addition is the name of the function. A function is always suffixed by open and closed parenthesis. Then we have a colon sign. You see the colon sign? The colon sign actually says that there should be a block of code within the function. It says that a block of code is going to be written beneath the name of the function. Here we have written one line, but a function can have thousands of lines. It is you to decide what the function is going to do for you, and hence you are to code whatever you want in that function to happen. Now, as I already said, if it had 1,000 lines, you could have written those 1,000 lines once and could have reused it many times wherever and whenever you wanted it to. So you can use addition in your code, or you can use this addition function in some other programs also by importing your program there. We'll see how we import programs afterwards in our course. So addition function we saw, it has a name. Similarly, subtraction also has a name. The function is subtraction function. It is a name. Product is a name, and they work for us whenever we call them. How we call? These are the statements from where we call them. Now, why do we call them? We call them because we need that work written under that given function to be executed. What benefits does function give us? The function gives us flexibility and control over the program. You can use any given function in any order possible, in any combination possible, and as many times as you want. So these are the benefits of function. One more thing that is added with function is, when functions are written in a program, the program is said to have a modular approach. Now, what is modular approach? Modular approach is a big given program is divided into small modules. You see, functions had helped us here. We have divided our program into small modules. Addition is a function. Subtraction is also a function. They are small codes, small units, small modules. And this is said to be applying modular approach. What happens when we give a modular approach to a program? We understand each and every part of the program properly. Suppose if my friend comes and he sees this program, seeing the program only, he will understand that this program is for addition, subtraction, product, division, then saying bye-bye, that is thank you. So these things can be easily understood by a man who has been not present when you are writing the program. So function gives a clarity and you can understand the program very quickly. If you had written the program without functions and the program would have say 2000 lines, no one could have understood it properly. But if you had kept functions within the program, there would be a better idea of the program by a person who sees your program, and he will understand, yes, this part is of this work, this part is of this work. He can well segregate the works and understand your program better. So again, saying the benefits are your program now has a function. Function gives modular approach, it gives clarity, it helps us to reuse the code. So these are the benefits. So students have understood how functions are beneficial to us. They give control also over the program. So students, this is what I wanted to tell you today about function. It was an introduction class about functions. You please try to do it yourselves at your home. And before I leave, I'll show you a given presentation where we'll again see the things which we have read, but using some other programs also. So first of the things, what is a function? A function is a named unit of a program that does a specific work and has a set of code defined within it. You have already seen a function had a name unit, addition has a name, it does a specific work, the work was adding, and how it did it, a code was defined within it, a statement was written within it. So this is what function is. Now see students, there are three types of functions. Two of them you have already seen in class 11th. The first was the built-in functions, the second was the module functions, and third is today what we are doing, the user-defined functions. So let us see them again. Built-in function, see example len. We'll now see why they are said to be built-in functions. Then we have module functions, example is sqrt, and we will have the third one today which we have learned, that is user-defined functions. So let us go and see. I have written a part here, a code snippet is there, you see it. See, len function, this is a built-in function. Now why I am saying it to be a built-in function, len function? You all know it gives the length of a word kept. It is said to be a built-in function because it doesn't require any module to be imported. Whereas see, I was trying to run sqrt function without a given module, it gave an error. So I had to import math module, because we all know sqrt is within math. So when you want to run a function and you need a module to be imported to run it, it is said to be a module function. So students, you have understood the difference, built-in functions and module functions. And let us see now a user-defined function. As I have talked, see, this is a user-defined function, a code I have written here. See, I have a function say wish and another function addition. Now what we are doing is we are trying to run this code, but we have not called wish, we have called addition. Moreover, see, wish and addition are the name of the functions, and the code written within them are said to be the definition of the function. They are also said to be the body of the function, and last line is the line from which addition function is being called, it is being invoked, it is being executed. So what should be the result? Good morning should be printed or not? I think you all understand good morning is not going to be printed, only the addition is going to be printed. Let us see. See here, only addition has been printed. 20 and 40 gives 60, but good morning is not there because wish was not called. You can see the code. But if we had called wish, see, now I call wish and wish is called before addition. So it is giving good morning first and then printing. If wish had been called after addition, then after the addition good morning would have been printed. So it is the order at which you call. If you call wish first, wish would do its work first. So it is also first come first serve. Do you understand? Now let us see. You can now well say what a user defined function is. A user defined function is a named unit of a program that has a set of code defined within it and does a specific work. Same as other functions, that is built-in functions and module functions. But what is the difference here? The difference is they are created by us, user, programmer. We create it. Python has not created and kept within it. We create it. What is the benefit? We have talked of the benefit. We have also enlisted the benefits here. The first benefit is it increases control over the program. You all know. Now the program can be run at our will. Promotes modularity. That also you know. It promotes a lot of modularity. That is, it divides the program code into small modules and takes work from each module as and when needed. Now, as I said, your friend can also easily understand because small subunits are there. He can take hold of one subunit and understand it properly. The clarity of the program increases. And this also we talked of, reusability. The codes can be reused. You have written it once, maybe of 1,000 lines a program function is. You can use it anywhere, any number of times as you wish. You are not to rewrite those codes again. Once written, you can feel free. You are now happy. You can use it whenever required. You can, as I said, use it in your own program, or you can also give it to your friend who will use it in his program by importing your given program. So this is possible. We'll see it afterwards. So again, how the control is, you have seen. Here's again this code. We worked with this code. What is the benefit here? You have the benefit of using any given function at any order you want, any number of times you want, any combination. Maybe today you want that you only need to work with addition and product. You don't want subtraction and division. Okay, well done. You can do it, no problem. Your functions have given you that given independence. So one part you work with, you leave the other part. It is not required to work with each and everything written in the functions, in the program. One part you work today, leave the other part. So it is your wish. So control is there. Now modularity. What is modularity? We have talked of. We have divided this code also into 4 parts and we are using whichever part we want. So this is modularity. Third is the program is easy to understand and comprehend. So you can well see, your friend can see and understand it is a program of calculation, mathematics. And addition, subtraction, product and division is being done. Reusable. See, addition has been used twice. Subtraction has not been used, but product again has been used twice. So you have used product and addition 2 times. So this is said to be reusability. Then information hiding, that I said that you created a variable C and you wanted to print it from subtract, but I said it is not possible. That means addition has a capability of hiding its information from subtract. So this is known as information hiding. Information hiding helps in the world of programming. Now we'll go for again revising what was the order in which our program actually worked. So you see, I have given numbers. The first line, when the computer went there in this code, it worked with the first line. It asked for a number. Then it asked for another number. Then it went to the third line, that is def addition. Whenever it gets a line def addition, it executes the first line, students. Def addition it executes. What it does, it helps the Python to understand that there is a function called addition within you. Be ready to work with it whenever called. But it doesn't execute the body part of addition now. It then goes to the def subtract statement. So what we see, it leaves that print the sum is, it is within the addition body part. So it will not be executed now. Whenever addition will be called, then it will be executed. So you are seeing the flow of execution. Then it goes to subtract. Again, the body part of subtract is left. Fifth work would be to go to the product part, that is def product. Sixth is def division. So how the program is flowing, you see. And seventh is the line where it comes and it starts working for us. So initial line, first it worked, it took a variable in A and then a value in A and then a value in B. Then it worked with addition. That is, it went and set the Python interpreter that something is there called addition that is to be worked with whenever called. Similarly, it said about subtract, it said about product, it said about division, but execution was not done. When actually we called them, execution was done. How we called them? We first called product. As we called product, the product is statement worked for us. Then addition, so it went to addition and worked the addition part. Then subtraction and then division. So you see how we can actually work with the different parts and control the flow of execution. So this is all for today, students. Thanks a lot. Have a very nice day.